Have you ever wondered if there were civilizations that once flourished and then simply vanished, leaving almost no trace behind? Imagine a city bustling with life, filled with culture, innovation, and people who dreamed, loved, and worked, only for it to disappear from history almost entirely. What if some of the greatest achievements of humankind were forgotten, buried under the sands of time, or hidden in dense jungles, waiting to be rediscovered? Today, we're diving into one such civilization, a society that once thrived, but history barely remembers. This is the story of the lost civilization that history forgot. Long before our modern maps and nations existed, the world was a patchwork of kingdoms and cultures, many of which rose to prominence only to vanish centuries later. Archaeologists and historians have pieced together fragments of these civilizations from ruins, artifacts, and writings, but much remains a mystery. Our focus today is one such civilization, whose story has been almost entirely erased, leaving behind tantalizing clues that continue to puzzle experts to this day. The first question we must ask ourselves is, how can an entire civilization simply disappear? No modern technology, no industrial infrastructure, just people, traditions, and knowledge, gone. Yet, as we explore, you'll find the answers are a mix of environmental challenges, societal collapse, conflicts, and perhaps even choices made by the people themselves. From the moment we uncover the first evidence of this civilization, we are greeted with riddles. The architecture is advanced, far beyond what nearby societies seemed capable of at the time. The artifacts show a culture with complex beliefs, artistic expression, and knowledge that rivals other great civilizations of its era. And yet, the most striking aspect is the near-complete absence of written records or surviving descendants. What could have happened to erase an entire society so thoroughly? In this series, we will explore the rise and fall of this lost civilization. We will examine the environment in which it existed, the people who lived there, the structures they built, and the mysteries they left behind. We will also look at the theories that attempt to explain its disappearance, from natural disasters to political upheaval, and even possibilities that stretch the imagination. But before we go further, I want you to imagine standing in the middle of a city square where no one has set foot in over 1,000 years. The wind whispers through crumbling buildings, and every stone seems to carry a story, a secret waiting to be told. This is not just history, it is a puzzle. And as we journey together through this story, keep your curiosity alive, because some of the most surprising revelations are yet to come. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand the fascinating details of this lost civilization, but also gain a deeper appreciation for how fragile human societies can be, and how history sometimes forgets even the most remarkable achievements. Keep watching, because the story is far more intricate and astonishing than you might imagine. Now, let's begin our journey into the heart of a civilization that time nearly erased. From the first foundations of its cities to the mysterious circumstances of its disappearance, every detail offers a glimpse into a world that once thrived. Prepare yourself for a story that blends archaeology, mystery, and history, and maybe even challenges what you thought you knew about the ancient world. The civilization we are exploring likely originated in a fertile region that today is nearly unrecognizable. Scholars believe it existed thousands of years ago, at a time when neighboring societies were still developing basic agriculture. Yet, the remnants we've uncovered indicate a highly organized society with sophisticated governance, trade networks, and cultural practices. Early evidence suggests the civilization was strategically located near rivers, enabling agriculture, trade, and transportation. The cities were planned with remarkable precision, streets aligned with astronomical observations, residential and ceremonial areas carefully separated, and large public spaces designed for gatherings and rituals. These urban designs hint at a culture that valued knowledge, community, and order. Archaeologists have also found artifacts indicating a society skilled in metallurgy, pottery, and textile production. Their art, intricate and symbolic, portrays religious beliefs, social hierarchy, and even daily life. Many of these pieces are unlike anything discovered in neighboring regions, suggesting a unique cultural identity. The origins of this civilization remain a matter of debate. Some experts propose it developed independently, while others suggest it was influenced by contact with distant societies through trade or migration. Regardless, it is clear that this civilization was not primitive. It had mastered technologies and cultural practices that were remarkable for its time. We can infer social organization through the ruins of massive communal structures, which would have required coordination, labor management, and resource planning. This suggests not only a hierarchical system, but also advanced cooperation and shared societal goals. It's fascinating to think about the daily lives of these people. Their families, their work, their festivals, and their beliefs, now almost entirely lost to history. Geographical studies indicate that the region was prone to natural challenges, including seasonal floods, earthquakes, or climate changes. Such environmental factors may have shaped how the society grew, expanded, and eventually faced decline. Understanding these conditions is crucial because they often determine the survival or collapse of civilizations, regardless of their technological or cultural achievements. Written records are scarce, which adds to the mystery. The few inscriptions that survive are brief and cryptic, hinting at governance, trade, or religious practices, but leaving much to interpretation. Without detailed chronicles, historians must rely on archaeology, comparative studies, and educated conjecture to reconstruct the story. Trade appears to have been extensive, connecting the civilization to distant regions. The presence of rare minerals, exotic artifacts, and stylistically diverse objects indicates a complex network of exchanges that may have contributed to both its prosperity and vulnerability. This interconnectedness could explain how the civilization acquired resources and ideas from afar, enriching its culture, but also exposing it to external pressures. As we consider these origins, it becomes clear that this civilization was remarkable, yet delicate. Its foundations were strong enough to create a vibrant society, yet perhaps vulnerable to forces beyond its control. The story of its rise will teach us lessons about innovation, collaboration, and the enduring human spirit, while its fall will challenge our assumptions about stability and survival. As this civilization reached its peak, its cities expanded both in size and influence. What began as small settlements grew into thriving urban centers, connected by roads, waterways, and trade routes that stretched far beyond their homeland. These connections allowed goods, ideas, and people to move freely, strengthening the civilization's economic and cultural power. Daily life for the people of this civilization revolved around agriculture, craftsmanship, and communal activities. Farmers cultivated crops adapted to their environment, while artisans produced tools, jewelry, and ceremonial objects that reflected both practicality and artistic expression. Markets buzzed with activity, serving as hubs where locals and traders from distant lands exchanged goods and stories. Religion and belief systems played a central role in shaping society. Temples and ceremonial structures dominated city centers, suggesting that spiritual life was deeply intertwined with governance and social order. Rituals likely marked important events such as harvests, births, and leadership transitions. These ceremonies reinforced a shared identity and provided meaning in a world shaped by both opportunity and uncertainty. Leadership appears to have been centralized but not entirely authoritarian. Evidence suggests a ruling class or council guided major decisions, supported by priests, administrators, and skilled planners. This structure allowed for coordinated construction projects, defense planning, and resource distribution. However, such complexity also required balance, and any disruption could have far-reaching consequences. As the civilization expanded, it encountered neighboring cultures. Sometimes these encounters were peaceful, leading to trade and cultural exchange. At other times, they may have resulted in conflict. Defensive walls and fortified areas indicate a need for protection, while weapons and armor found at excavation sites hint at periods of tension or warfare. One of the most remarkable aspects of this civilization was its adaptability. Faced with environmental challenges, the people engineered solutions such as irrigation systems, elevated structures, or seasonal migration patterns. These innovations allowed them to survive and thrive for generations. Yet, adaptability alone does not guarantee permanence, especially when multiple pressures converge. Archaeological layers reveal periods of rebuilding and modification, suggesting cycles of growth, damage, and recovery. Natural disasters may have struck, forcing the population to adapt or relocate. Over time, these repeated disruptions could have strained resources and tested the resilience of social structures. Despite these challenges, the civilization continued to flourish, leaving behind evidence of a rich cultural life. Music, storytelling, and visual art likely played significant roles, even if their exact forms remain unknown. Every artifact, from a simple tool to an elaborate sculpture, provides a glimpse into a society that valued creativity alongside survival. This period of expansion represents the height of the civilization's achievements. It is here that we see both its greatest strengths and the seeds of future vulnerability. The systems that enabled growth also created dependencies, making the civilization sensitive to internal and external shocks. As we move forward, we begin to see how these pressures intensified, setting the stage for one of history's most intriguing mysteries. At some point, the steady rhythm of life began to falter. Evidence suggests a period of instability marked by conflict, environmental stress, or social upheaval. Archaeological findings show signs of abandoned buildings, unfinished projects, and abrupt changes in material culture. These clues indicate that something disrupted the civilization's balance. One theory points to environmental change. Shifts in climate could have reduced agricultural productivity, leading to food shortages and internal tension. Rivers may have changed course, droughts could have lasted longer than expected, or natural disasters may have damaged critical infrastructure. For a society so closely tied to its environment, these changes would have been devastating. Another possibility involves conflict, either internal or external. Competition for resources may have intensified as conditions worsened, leading to power struggles among elites or clashes with neighboring groups. Fortifications and weapons found in later layers suggest a society preparing for or experiencing sustained conflict. Social cohesion may have weakened as trust in leadership eroded. If rulers failed to protect or provide for the population, loyalty could have fractured. People may have migrated away in search of better conditions, gradually emptying cities that once teemed with life. Unlike sudden destruction, this slow departure would leave behind ruins without clear signs of catastrophe. The absence of mass graves or widespread destruction adds to the mystery. It suggests that the civilization did not end in a single dramatic event, but rather faded over time. This gradual decline makes it harder to pinpoint a definitive cause, leaving historians to piece together a complex puzzle. Cultural changes also hint at transformation rather than annihilation. Artistic styles evolved, religious practices shifted, and building techniques simplified. These changes may reflect adaptation to new realities, but they could also signal loss of knowledge and tradition. As generations passed, the memory of the civilization's former glory may have dimmed, even among its own people. Some researchers propose that the civilization merged with neighboring cultures, its identity absorbed rather than erased. In this scenario, people survived, but the distinct cultural markers that define them disappeared. This would explain why later societies show faint echoes of similar practices without clear continuity. Despite extensive research, many questions remain unanswered. Why did such an advanced society fail to sustain itself? Were its leaders aware of the coming decline? Or did it unfold too slowly to recognize? The lack of written records means these questions may never be fully resolved, leaving us with theories rather than certainty. What is clear is that the civilization's decline was not simple. It was shaped by a combination of environmental, social, and political factors that interacted in complex ways. This complexity reminds us that the fall of civilizations is rarely caused by a single event, but by a cascade of interconnected challenges. Centuries passed before the remnants of this civilization began to attract serious attention. Early explorers and local inhabitants were aware of the ruins, but their significance was not immediately understood. It was only through systematic archaeological investigation that the scale and importance of the civilization became clear. Excavations revealed layers of history preserved beneath the surface. Each discovery added a new piece to the puzzle, from tools and artwork to architectural remains. These findings challenged earlier assumptions about the region's past, forcing historians to reconsider timelines and cultural development. Modern technology has played a crucial role in this rediscovery. Satellite imagery, ground-penetrating radar, and advanced dating methods have allowed researchers to identify hidden structures and better understand the civilization's layout. These tools have transformed ruins into readable records of human activity. Interpretation, however, remains difficult. Without extensive written records, archaeologists must rely on indirect evidence and comparative analysis. They study similar civilizations, examine environmental data, and test hypotheses through experimentation and modeling. This process is slow, but it gradually brings clarity. Public interest has grown as discoveries are shared through museums, documentaries, and academic publications. The story of a lost civilization resonates because it challenges the idea that progress is linear and permanent. It reminds us that even advanced societies can disappear, leaving behind only fragments of their achievements. Debates continue among scholars, each new find sparking fresh interpretations. Some emphasize environmental factors, while others focus on social dynamics or external pressures. This diversity of perspectives reflects the complexity of human societies and the difficulty of reconstructing the past. Importantly, the rediscovery of this civilization has practical implications. Lessons learned from its successes and failures can inform modern discussions about sustainability, resource management, and social resilience. History, in this sense, becomes a guide rather than a distant curiosity. As research continues, the story remains unfinished. New excavations and technologies may yet reveal answers to long-standing questions. Until then, the civilization stands as a testament to human creativity, adaptability, and vulnerability. Its rediscovery ensures that, although it was once forgotten, it will not be erased again. The story of this lost civilization is more than an archaeological mystery. It is a reflection of humanity itself. It shows how people can build complex societies, create beauty and meaning, and adapt to challenging environments. At the same time, it reveals how fragile these achievements can be. As we reflect on this history, we are reminded that no civilization exists in isolation. Environmental conditions, social relationships, and external pressures all shape the fate of societies. Ignoring any one of these factors can have lasting consequences. The disappearance of this civilization challenges us to think about our own world. Are we paying attention to the warning signs around us? Are we learning from the past or repeating the same mistakes in new forms? These questions give history its enduring relevance. What makes this story especially powerful is its ambiguity. We may never know exactly why the civilization declined, but the search for answers keeps us engaged. It encourages curiosity, critical thinking, and respect for the complexity of human history. By exploring forgotten civilizations, we honor the people who lived, worked, and dreamed within them. Their lives mattered, even if their names are lost. Through archaeology and storytelling, we give them a voice once more. If you found this journey intriguing, there are countless other stories waiting to be told. History is filled with mysteries, hidden connections, and lessons that can reshape how we see the world. Before you go, take a moment to reflect on what surprised you most in this story. Was it the scale of the civilization, the mystery of its disappearance, or the way it challenges modern assumptions? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future stories. Your support helps keep these forgotten histories alive and allows us to explore even more fascinating chapters of the past together. Thank you for watching, and remember, history is not just about what happened long ago. It is about understanding who we are today and who we might become tomorrow.